Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for my top 10 comic books of the week. That's right everybody, thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is my top 10 comic books of the week. It's not a spec list, but it's a list of what I thought were the 10 strongest comic books of one of the strongest weeks. One of the strongest new comic book days of 2020. And yes, I know there was a time where we didn't have them. I'm serious. Narrowing this down to 10 was a near impossible task, yet I have tried my best. But before we get into that, I do want to give a quick mention and announcement. Tonight at 5 p.m. Central Time on the YouTube channel Hero and the Kid, one of our featured channels here on the PCP YouTube homepage. That's where the monthly meetup's going to be. Me, Comics with Bueller, Hero and the Kid, of course, Bob from Everything Comics, and Dylan's Comics, all chatting live about what we thought were the best comic books of October 2020. Full spoilers, full discussion, full hilarity. Check that out on Hero and the Kids channel tonight at 5 p.m. Central Time. And just so you don't forget, I'll throw a link down in the description. Be sure to click the notification. We really do appreciate you checking out those live streams. We have a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to chat live with some of my friends here on Comic Book YouTube, and you out there are friends watching us. Anyway, let's get right into the top 10. At number 10, The Immortal Hulk, number 39 from Marvel Comics. I'm going to tell you something. It's been a while since I've thought this highly of an issue of Immortal Hulk. This book started off super strong. It really delved into horror, like straight up, and especially some body horror. In issue 39, I see a true-to-form return to that. I loved this issue, so it's all ramping up. We've got the leader involved now. Al Ewing's been doing this crazy stuff with the Green Door and basically Hell and the One Below. This is all starting to come to a head. Now you got the leader involved. This is a crazy issue. It's got some of Joe Bennett's best work on this series yet, and it's been filled, this series has, with some of Joe Bennett's best artwork of his entire career. As illustrious as it has been, I loved Immortal Hulk number 39, really ramping things up. It's rumored that this book is ending at issue number 50, and if so, I can definitely see why, because the endgame's about to get super crazy. This is very a study of all the different personalities within the Hulk and how they can combat each other and even help each other out on the mindscape. But like I said, I just love that true-to-roots horror ideals behind this book. Immortal Hulk 39 blew me away. At number 9, The Autumnal, number 2 from Vault Comics. I thought that Autumnal number 1 was a pretty decent start. It's about a woman who's got a young girl. She's down on her luck. Life isn't looking the greatest wherever she is. I think it's in Chicago. She gets a letter that her mom, who has passed away, her mom who she never had a great relationship with, her mom has passed away, and in the small town that she grew up, she has been left the family home. So it seems like a great way to escape one problem and maybe dive right into another one, because there's something creepy about this town. There's something weird about these people. There's something going on with the leaves. Daniel Kraus does a great job with this one. Issue number 2 really starts building that tension. Starts building up little by little. You have certain people doing really nice things. You're like, wow, that's really extravagantly nice. And then other people doing really horrible things. And you're like, what is wrong with this person? Why is she doing this? You know, and I'm loving it. Jason Wordie's doing such a great job here with the coloring over Chris Sheehan's artwork. The artwork is great, atmospheric and moody, but it's enhanced by Jason Wordie's coloring. And the way that he has these contrasting palettes, cool to warm, to bring in that autumn feel, to bring in that creepy leaf feel that's going on here. I'm loving it. Getting into the characters, really building this up. It starts character first, then it's building up this tension and this horror aspect. I'm really excited for this. Jim Campbell, of course, the letterer. This is a top-notch book, and I'm loving it, and a great one from Vault. At number 8, John Constantine, Hellblazer, number 11, from DC Black Label. Simon Spurrier's been doing an amazing job on Hellblazer. This is the penultimate issue because 12 will be the last, and it is a shame because this has taken the character of Constantine back to those Vertigo roots. It's dark, it's moody, it's brooding, it's filled with great characterizations, a little bit of humor, and a lot of unnerving horror. magical-based horror, supernatural stuff, and I'm loving it. Aaron Campbell's artwork, enhanced and highlighted by Jordi Belaire's coloring, is great. Dark, gritty, textured. There's so much texture on these pages. It just oozes the atmosphere off of it, and it's something raw and in your face, and it shreds your soul. I'm loving this book. I'm going to be sad to see it go. Issue number 11 is great. We're really kicking up the story. We're nearing the end here, so you got to get that. Everything that's been set up since issue number 1, hell, since the preview special that came out before that, everything that Spurrier has been laying in is all coming to fruition, and it's doing it in a masterful, elegant, and suspenseful and horrific way. At number 7, Wynd. Number 5, from Boom Studios. So let's talk about the journey of Wynd. Wynd was originally supposed to be a graphic novel. Now, I will say this, having read all 5 issues of the first story. If this had come out as a graphic novel, I would have read it and immediately told everybody that this was a great book. Albeit, they decided to release it as issues. And because of that, it's not formatted. The story wasn't structured in a way to make issue 1 like that. You know what I'm saying? But it was designed for the entire story to give you that punch and have you wanting more. Because yes, this is just the first book of hopefully many more to come. Wynd number 5 was awesome. This is the finale of the first story arc. And even though the first issue didn't do a great job of hooking you in and grabbing you with an enticing hook, I guess I should say, and concept, Wynd number 5, the way it all works out was great. This was a magnificent ending that really hit all those character notes perfectly. Everybody has their arc. It completes, but it also sets up what's to come. This has been a great fantasy book that's about being different in a world that doesn't like people that are different. And I had a lot of fun with this, and it's got a nice resonating message within it. The artwork by Michael Dialynas is absolutely fantastic, and it fits the fantasy tone of the story. James Tynion's been killing it this year. I'm pretty sure he's going to be my writer of 2020, and Wynd, amongst others, are a reason why. At number 6, X-Men, Ten of Swords, Stasis, number 1. So this is part 11 of the 22-part Ten of Swords storyline, so we're right there smack dab in the middle. So we've spent the first bit of this whole Ten of Swords story setting up the idea of the Ten of Swords tournament, setting up Morocco, and all this kind of stuff, and we've spent most of these issues learning who the sword bearers are going to be for Krakoa, for the mutants, and what swords they're going to be wielding. Well, in one issue here, they introduce us now to the sword bearers of Morocco, the bad guys, if you will. And we get a lot more information about some of these characters. Fascinating characters to me, like the original 4 Horsemen of Death, their ties to Apocalypse, how it sheds new light on Apocalypse's mission and his history and his character and his motivation. Apocalypse is not only my favorite X-Men villain, he's my second favorite villain at Marvel, period. Right behind Victor. You know Dr. Doom's got to take that. But the Apocalypse work that's being done in this Ten of Swords story, to me, is levels above anything that's been done with the character. It's well-rounded. It's got a lot of facets to it. It's complex. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of meat. And you can get it stuck in your teeth and think about it later and when you're chewing. What? That's a weird analogy, Robbie. Anyway, Ten of Swords does also a great job of bringing us into Otherworld and letting us know a little bit more. Now we know why they've had all these info pages about Otherworld and all the different provinces, because now that's coming into play. And Saturnine might be the ultimate villain of this story. I'm loving it. I think this is a great issue. Powerful artwork by Pepe Larraz and others, and great writing, Jonathan Hickman and Teenie Howard. And you know Teenie Howard did the tarot card interpretations and significance and all that stuff, and 100% spot on, and I'm loving it. At number 5, Colonel Weird, Cosmagog, number 1 from Dark Horse Comics, from the world of Black Hammer. Colonel Weird is one of the weirdest characters in Dark Horse's Black Hammer. Black Hammer was a great mystery series involving superheroes, but what it actually became was this entire superhero universe that Jeff Lemire created and populated with really fascinating characters. Some of them, of course, are representations of popular heroes, or I should say amalgams of popular heroes, and then sometimes he just does his own thing, or he does his own thing on that kind of character. This is kind of more of an Adam Strange type character, but way more weird. He travels through time and space, and if you read Black Hammer, and if you're a fan of Black Hammer, you know that the Colonel Weird stuff has been pretty weird. He shows up, you can tell that he's confused, he's traveling from moment to moment, time to time, space to space, and you can always tell that he's confused. Well, now we're seeing an entire story unravel from his perspective, and it's seeing it from his perspective is giving us a little bit of that wide angle on what exactly is happening, especially in his life. So this serves as an origin story. It's trippy and psychedelic, and it also just serves as a great exploration on some previous moments that we have seen in Black Hammer with Colonel Weird, and kind of elaborating on them just a little bit. The artwork by Tyler Crook is absolutely beautiful. It handles those weird, wonky, psychedelic pages so amazingly. This is a work of art. You could hang any panel on your wall in your home, and you would be satisfied with it. If you like the Black Hammer stuff, I would highly encourage you to check it out. Even if you've never read Black Hammer, I think you would like it if you're looking for something weird, quirky, and sci-fi, and kind of anchored into the Silver Age. This book was awesome. I loved it, and Black Hammer is a must-read for superhero fans. At number 4, Canto II, The Hollow Men, number 3. Y'all, this comic book about made me cry. Seriously, the level of emotion that this book can evoke out of a reader is incredibly insane to me. It is masterful. What Boer and Zucker and Sevi and Astoni, what they have been able to do with this book, with what seems like such a light, trite fairy tale, right? It seems like, okay, it's meant to be kind of like Dante's Inferno meets Wizard of Oz. And you totally get that because it's got the accessibility and the directness of a fantasy tale like Wizard of Oz, but it's got the complexity and the nuance and the rich thematic material of something like Dante's Inferno. This book hits right at the heart of story, and it's now even questioning that story. I don't want to reveal much about this issue, but I will say this. Damn, you guys, you about made me cry, and seriously, this book is so effective at evoking emotion. It's one of the best books I have ever read in my entire life. And if you're not reading Canto, like Bueller just can't bring himself to read Canto, Bueller, homie, you're missing out. This is one of the best books out there. I highly encourage everybody to pick it up. At number 3, Wasted Space, number 16, from Vault Comics. Well, it feels like it's been forever, but it was definitely well worth the wait because this is the best issue of Wasted Space yet. Oh my goodness, the level of innovation present in this issue from all of the creative partners. Seriously, Jim Campbell's lettering levels up. Jason Wordie's coloring levels up. Hayden Sherman has, to me, done the best work of his career yet with this one single issue, and I am a huge Hayden Sherman fan. He was my artist of the year last year. And Michael Morisi, writer extraordinaire, super good dude. This is a great book. It's kind of like Preacher meets Star Wars, but it's carved out its own identity. It's got wild, rambunctious, in-your-face, crude, irreverent humor and zaniness, but it's also got this thread of philosophical musings that resonate, like, very truly and deeply within my personal soul. This is one of my best, this to me is one of the best comics out there. It's one of my favorites, period, since it's been coming out, and I'm so glad that it's back. It's been a long time, definitely worth the wait. 4th arc starting now. If you have not read Wasted Space, I so incredibly encourage you to do so. I'll throw some Amazon links in the description below, and you can check them out there for a great fair price and help support PCP at the same time. But Wasted Space, I love it. I'm glad it's back so I can get wasted. At number 2, The Department of Truth, number 2 from Image Comics. This is one of those situations where this could have been the pick of the week. It really could have been number 1. This book is masterful. It is amazing. The fear, the level of creepiness, the atmosphere that not only does it project into the mind of the reader, it almost becomes a viscerally real experience when you're reading this book. I loved issue number 1. I thought it was one of the best debuts all year long. But issue number 2 was even better than issue number 1, and I frickin' loved it. James Tynion's done a great job crafting a very intriguing story. What if every conspiracy theory was true? But it's more than that. It's about how the nature of reality is relative to the belief of the population. So the more that people believe in a thing, the more that reality will be shifted and affected. That is so Teen Dog Shades appropriate, so in line with some of my own thoughts and ideas about reality itself that it's just astounding to me that they bring you in with conspiracy theories and then they get you into some real crazy ideas that I think are pretty profound. I love this book. It wouldn't work as well without Martin Simmons on the artwork. Martin Simmons' artwork is incredibly visceral, out there, evocative, provocative, and just freaking outstanding. Martin Simmons is able to shift his style to be appropriate to the tone of the book. He is the artist of Friendo, for instance, by Alex Packnadel. If you look at the art there and you look at the art here, you could probably not realize that. It is so much different. This gives me Dave McKean, Bill Sienkiewicz type vibes. Vertigo, early Vertigo type stuff. Raw and gritty. Exactly what Campbell's giving us on Hellblazer right now. Department of Truth blows me away. And Aditya Bidikar, I always say this. I said this on the weekly comic book review. So get ready, I'm saying it again. Aditya Bidikar is the best letterer in the business. And if you really want to know why, study the lettering in this book. And I think you'll be able to start piecing together how a letterer can become more than just a utility in getting the words on the page, but actually become a part of the process and the flow of the book and the atmosphere itself. 100%. Department of Truth #2 blew me away. I loved it. If you loved issue #1, I think you're going to love even 2 even more. And at #1, Giga #1 from Vault Comics. This book blew me away. There is a great concept at the core of this book, and it's great. Let's explain that real quick. I did an advanced review. I talked about it yesterday of the Pick of the Week segment, so we'll talk about it again. There was this giant war fought by these giant mechs, right? These giant mechs called Giga. When the war was over, the Giga just go completely dormant, and they just power down. There you go. Now, years later, who knows how long, but later, way later, humanity has now built their civilization around these dormant mechs, and they live in them, and they take care of them, and they even worship and reverence them as gods, in a way. So there's this entire incredible world that's being built, and the way that Alex Packnadel, the writer, who's the writer of friend of the show, actually, Alex is such an amazingly intelligent and meticulous writer. The subtext is there, but it's mostly about the world building in the first issue. And the way it just doesn't come out and say, this happened, this happened, this happened. You learn this through the characters. And the characters are incredibly engaging. There's a mystery. There are elements, factions within this society. And you're leaving yourself going, wow, I want to know more about this. And it's not a book that like you read and you're just like, whoa, this was just so amazing, it blew me away. It blows you away because you read it and you're like, I have to have more. I am so ingrained now into this book. The characters, there are moments that really tug at my heart, involving the squirrel especially. I'm loving this book. John Lee's artwork is great because it handles the expressiveness of the characters as well as being dense and very highly detailed at the same time. Roche's coloring, top notch, and guess who the letterer is? It's Aditya Bidikar in a completely different style from his lettering in Department of Truth, but look how appropriate this lettering is to this story, to this artwork. Anyway, I loved Giga #1. I think it's the start of something truly unique and special and expansive, and I am very, very excited. Packnadel is one of my favorite writers out there right now. Bidikar is one of my favorite letterers, and I'm loving Lee and Roche's work on this book, and I'm excited to see what's coming. I've been promised that it's crazy. Anyway, those are the top 10 books for me for this week. What were your favorites? What's your top 10, top 5, top 3, top 1? I don't care. What comic books are you reading and what do you love? Let's share in the comments down below. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and join us over at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts, blogs, and a whole lot more. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. We'll see you at 5 p.m. Central Time tonight on Hero and the Kid for the Best Comics of the Month live stream. Really looking forward to that. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on reading.